welcome back to my channel. I'll preface this by saying this video is a part 2 of an existing video on the YouTuber known as Meet Golf. And so if you haven't watched that video, I implore you to watch it, as you will need to be terminally online in order to understand the full context of this video. Then again, if you're watching me, I don't know what kind of fans I have, but based on some recent fan art I've received, I'm actually taken aback that some of y'all might be more unhinged than me. Pointless yap aside, I will address everything that has happened so far by the time of recording this video, and this video serves as a follow-up, but also the conclusion to this arc, if things do not progress any further. The video left things pretty open for response, and of course Meet has responded and others have been made aware of the entire situation. Additionally, I received a lot of comments on the video as well, so I'll be addressing those too. Finally, there's Meet's apology to get through, and to say the least, it was something. All of that will be addressed and more, but just be warned, because this video is
rated R for retarded.
I bet a lot of people are thinking, why the hell are you making a second video? I must admit, there were many people in my DMs asking me to make a second video, and I'll respond to them saying we should be patient. I wanted to wait until the dust settled to make this video in order to not miss anything crucial. It's a good thing I waited, because I got perspectives from so many different people to the point where it isn't just a single man's take anymore. Well, regardless, I'll tell you how this video is going to be structured. First, I'll address my own video, and a lot of the comments that I was receiving, I'll just be grouping them up and addressing them as a whole. Next, we'll be going over Meet's second spurg out on another YouTuber and the situation involving that. And finally, I'll go over Meet's apology and what I think of it. My own video was pretty tame in comparison to what it could have been. There were so many different screenshots and other videos I was given that I didn't use because I couldn't prove their validity, nor did I feel the need to really overstack the video with insults directed towards Meet. Some people were saying my video was full of spite and it was petty drama. I'd like to remind everyone that Meet copy striked my video. As a result of that, I have become untrusted by YouTube. Despite the fact this was never a problem before this point, I now can't even link things or pin comments anymore. But that's just minor in comparison to the possible legal ramifications of a legal claim Meet just did. Had I contested it, I could have potentially have been doxxed, which wasn't a risk I was going to take over Meet. Though recently, the copyright was removed from my video, accompanied with an apology from Meet, but I'll get to that in a moment. Next is all the comments about transphobia, and honestly, this is going to be pretty straightforward. Firstly, if that's the only critique you have to say about my video, then I must say it's pretty shallow. Brushing off Meet's antics as just bad behaviour, and then honing in on that point as if it makes what I said any less valid, just promotes Meet's way of thinking. Just blanket everything under transphobia, and just refuse to argue anything of substance. Though, I guess I should address the claim. Am I transphobic? I wouldn't call myself that. I just don't subscribe to the belief, and also don't believe people should be pushing onto kids. If you're trans, I don't really have any problems with you. Just like I have no problems with Muslims as a whole. I just don't believe in it. Some of you may of course see me not believing it as the worst offence known to man. Honestly, do as you may. I won't go out my way to attack trans people, nor will I go out my way to incite violence. I called Meet a man simply because he looks and sounds like one. Respectfully, Meet should just put more effort into this, like other trans people, and maybe I'll actually give a shit. Hello, editing guy here. Yeah, editing version. So, I've got some more screenshots to add, but I didn't want to redo or like refit the video, so I'm just gonna put it in here. Things might be a little out of order, but for the most part fits. So here's a screenshot of Meat in the comment section of something, and it has the text from a guy called Test Account saying, by the way, dude is actually gender neutral. Unfortunately, it's become so used for male guys that I kissed a dude sounds very bad in this context. And then Meat responds, no, actually, dude isn't gender neutral at all. I don't care how funny of a movie Good Burger is. Wait, am I stupid? I don't care how funny of a movie Good Burger is it means as a well-dressed man, and makes me feel like you're referring to me as one when you use it. So don't. Stop trying to argue this. I don't care how funny of a movie Good Burger is it. Anyway, trans misogyny exempt individuals love speaking about what shouldn't offend you after you make it painstakingly clear that you do not want to argue about it. And it's just really Meat just talking about some trans stuff. I think the section before this was me talking about how I don't really care about the whole transgenderism thing, but what's important to note here is what Meat says at the bottom here. I just genuinely need to kill every cis person who goes through mental gymnastics to argue over preferences. Okay, oh my goodness, this is why. Anyway, so Meat's just saying, I think if we kill people like that, the world will improve. You know, just more quotes of Meat saying we should kill these kind of people. So, ping everyone in the Discord, new rule being implemented. While it's typically frowned upon, if you or someone you know is getting misgendered, you have my permission to tell the person doing it to kill themselves. So, you know, that's just a quote from the server. I'm not really a believer of the whole transgenderism thing, but if Meat's the one telling people to kill themselves, then that says more about Meat than it does, anyone else. Because there's other trans people that'll be like, well, you shouldn't really be misgendering people and you should correct yourself. But then there's people like Meat who's saying it's fine to tell people that misgender to kill themselves. So in this applied situation, this will technically mean he's telling Iwanunezi. He'll say it's fine to tell Iwanunezi to kill himself. Just to put that in perspective, that's the kind of idea that Meat's getting at. There's a talk here as well, comment that says, I'm relieved. I'm reviled and disgusted that my trans friends have to be associated with individuals like you whenever they are thought of. You parade around this moral superiority, holier than thou act, and get off to being a tough guy while crumbling at the smallest piece of criticism perceived insult. You are everything that's wrong with the Project Moon fandom and the intelligent internet. At large. No, not trans people, not Project Moon fans. It's all you. You and every other hypocrite who claims to be more superior to everyone else. I got problems. But yeah, this is just a comment talking about Meat. And what does this person do? What does Meat do? Starts clowning on it in the Discord server. Just laughing at this person, making fun of them, saying how trans people be hated regardless of everything else. It's just how Meat is unable to take the criticism as a whole, if you ask me. There is one more tiny piece of information as well that I need to include here. This is for a post-editing section. This is pretty long, but it actually does matter because it's talking about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And I know a lot of people have their own opinions about the man, but for me, of course, as a non-American as well, maybe I'm not feeling the political impacts, but for me, the way I see it is that no one should be killed for a political opinion. If they're saying something you don't like, then I believe people should talk it out. So he was killed. Assassinated, if you will. And what does Meat say? Well, there's a bunch of stuff saying that apparently Charlie Kirk's fans doxed Meat. I think Meat might be referring to Kiwi Farms, where his information is available. They didn't really, I wouldn't consider them Charlie Kirk fans in particular. Then again, take what I just said with a grain of salt, because I don't know which fans in particular he's talking about. And the thing that just gets me is this last bit here, because I'm trying to speed over this for the sake of time. Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk vacationed in Israel. Israel is known for housing pedophiles that run from America. And Charlie Kirk also said that some weird shit about his daughter in regards to pregnancy. It all crosses at the path. So what is Meat trying to say with that statement? Is Meat saying that Charlie Kirk is a pedophile or something? The man's like already dead. What is that? Just like, what's the need for dragging his name through the mud? Like, I don't know. It's just something about it. It just doesn't sit right with me, you know. But yeah, I'm just gonna let the video go back to the video now. Just get back to the video. Just end it, bro. End it. Shut it down. Now I finally get to talk about Meat's little crush out at I Want Lunazy, which if you try and search for in Meat's posts, you will not find it there, as Meat has, unsurprisingly, deleted it. But more on that later. So what was this all about? I hear people ask. I Want Lunazy, a YouTuber and a TikToker that makes funny YouTube shorts, made a Project Moon YouTuber tier list. On said tier list, most YouTubers were in the top ranks, whilst there were a few that were lower. Meat being in the category, and a bunch of YouTubers being in the lowest section. I'm not even gonna address the fact that Meat isn't even in the lowest tier, and other YouTubers were ranked lower with way worse allegations attached to them. Meat gets put in there for, you guessed it, things stated in my video. When I Want Lunazy was questioned on this, he started to state his reasons, but using he when referring to Meat. He even later on stated he doesn't respect Meat, hence that's why he used he. However, I'm actually guessing here that I Want Lunazy is ESL, meaning English isn't his first language, and thus made a phrasing mistake. And I'm just going on a limb here, but I'm guessing what he likely meant to say was he didn't care enough to check. But regardless of that, he literally apologized right after, so I don't really gotta run defense for any of that. I have also talked to I Want Lunazy privately, and despite being outside of public eye, he refused to misgender me a single time, despite his obvious frustrations about the situation. I may not believe in it myself, but seeing someone be consistent with their beliefs is always nice to see. So, seeing this tier list, what did our best friend decide to do? Well, overreact about transphobia and generate a hate mob, of course. I mean, what else is Meat gonna do? I Want Lunazy was getting absolutely bashed in Meat's comment section. They were trying to tear him apart and saying things like, it's messed up to make a tier list of people. Which, it truly isn't. They were just spreading this rumor over and over, spreading the message that I Want Lunazy is transphobic. Needless to say, a response was issued out by I Want Lunazy, which, given the subscriber count, should still sway over to Meat's side, if it was down to subscriber versus subscriber. I must show you how disingenuous Meat is being at this moment. Let me show you the screenshot Meat took, then show you the actual comment section. The screenshot Meat took, and again, the actual comment section. Can you see what's happening here? The apology that I Want Lunazy made is missing from the screenshot. Even a commenter addresses this, and what does Meat say? Regardless. What do you mean regardless? So you acknowledge your mistake and actively just don't give a shit? And funny enough, Meat also had the balls to say, who are you? Nigga, who the hell are you? Most people have no idea who the hell you are. At least I Want Lunazy is funny. Nigga, what the hell do you do? You're not funny. You're not informative. You're not logical. You're not consistent. You're not entertaining. You're not even worth watching. Drop your ego for 5 minutes, holy shit, and actually learn how to humble yourself. But, ignoring that, I'm still not done with your pathetic excuse of a call-out post. In your own comment section, you are still deleting comments you don't like. And out of the ones that you deleted, None of them were even that bad. Most of them were just sitting on the fence, and some were just respectfully disagreeing with you. How can a single person take you seriously with this as your default behavior? Were you born without a spine? Do you have the capability to even take a single point of critique? Joseph, what do we think about meat? There was even a point where someone said, "You're overreacting," and Meat left it up there in an attempt to ratio it. The ratio somewhat succeeded. However, given how much traction the comment was getting, Meat decided to delete it anyway. But I want to get to I Want Lunese's response, which was just spot on. You don't have to read the full thing. You can pause it if you want to read it. However, the main takeaway from all of this is that I Want Lunese is taking accountability for a mistake he made. Even though he amended it in the very comment thread, he is apologizing for making a mistake at the same time being firm in what he's saying. This is exactly what I like to see. It's about honesty and humility. That's what an apology looks like. And despite I Want Lunese having less subs than Meat, his post has about 6 times more comments than Meat does. You want to know why? Not only because Meat keeps deleting comments, but in the comment section of I Want Lunese's posts, the community has been getting together to dog on Meat. They all actively start sharing their opinions on Meat and their personal experience with Meat. Honestly, it was pretty funny to see. So many people thought all this about Meat, so badly about Meat, yet no one said anything. Just shows the problem I was trying to address in the first video. Meat will silence anyone if given the chance. Meat will prevent conversation when given the chance. Meat is a protected class in the community, and thus no one bothers to critique Meat. But thanks to my video and I Want Lunese's post, the cracks have been revealed, allowing for open critique about Meat. You can scroll through that post's comments. It's an interesting read, but now I'm going to address the part that a lot of people have come here to see. But before I do that, I'm just going to quickly point out that Meat made vague posts about me again, in 2 times in his community posts. I'm not going to go over them at length, but just remember the kind of snaky person Meat is before you guys go on and rush to forgive him. There are 2 distinct apologies to get through. I'll be addressing the one in the comments of my posts first. I apologize for striking you in the first place. My ego got the better of me in that moment, and I viewed your video as slander rather than fair use criticism. While I do not agree with you or anything you preach, that's no reason for me to abuse copyright law, and it will not be done again from me towards you or anyone else. There will be no further interaction from me or interruption beyond this point. Thank you and have a good day. We may disagree, but that's okay. Once again, really sorry for all of this. What the hell is this? Keep in mind, this comment only came out after the I Want Lunese situation started getting out of hand. Do you know what this means? It means that Meat has more than enough reason to apologize like this in order to save some face. What on earth do you think? What do you take me for, man? Meat. Buddy. I already knew you were gonna try to pull this, man. In fact, 5 days earlier, I predicted this, that you would probably do stuff like this. You couldn't even disappoint me. I was gonna tear into this, but I already did that in a YouTube post out on Twitter. So I'll just flash the tweet and what I said on the screen. You can pause in order to read them if you want. However, I'm trying to save some time in this video, and thus will not be repeating things I've already said. The more important thing here is the second apology, which reads as follows. I appreciate your feedback, and have been coming to the realization it's not worth fighting people online, nor inciting anything against anyone. I'm still doing a bit of soul searching, and trying to understand more about myself. But I'm done getting myself into controversy. People are gonna dislike me anyways, and despite how my autism literally makes my mind scream at me for that, I need to learn to accept it and do my own thing. I've had a proper sit down with a friend of mine of things, behaviors I genuinely want to change because I don't want to be spiteful and wrathful. My parents are old. They have like 20 years left and they read most of what I say here. I don't want them leaving this planet remembering that they left behind someone consumed with anger rather than someone who just chooses to simply live and develop. I appreciate all the callouts. Whether I agree with them or not is not important. The sheer amount of criticism I've received is indicative that something about me needs to change, not the other way around. Anyways, that's all I'm really thinking about right now. I don't blame anything of what I've done or what I've expressed on anyone but myself, and neither should you. I hope we can all move on and grow into better people. I'm going to try to. Thank you. Wow. You know, I haven't really seen such dog shit and fake apologies ever since the ACC era, with all those art commentary YouTubers just being retarded and taking each other out. I'll break this down piece by piece to explain why I think it's utter bullshit. The first part, I appreciate your feedback and I've come to the realization that it's literally not worth fighting people online, nor inciting anything against anyone. Can people not see how fake and self-centered this is? This isn't an admission of guilt. The opening statement is quite literally me going, I just realized this entire thing is a waste of time. It's just me understanding how cooked he is. If Meat wasn't getting fired like this, he quite literally wouldn't have felt bad in any capacity. I'm still doing a bit of soul searching and trying to understand more about myself, but I'm done getting myself into controversy. People are going to dislike me anyways, and despite how my autism literally makes my mind scream at me for that, I need to learn to accept it and do my own thing. More bullshit open talk that doesn't actually mean anything. What do you mean you're done getting yourself into controversy? What controversy? You made a mistake. You're literally in the wrong. The phrasing here is so dishonest. It's trying to make it look like there was errors on both sides when it was just in fact me overreacting based on nothing. The copyright directed towards my video was due to your own omission and ego trip. It's literally your fault. Stop vaguely saying things in order to appeal to plausible deniability and just accept the fact that you genuinely screwed up here. But it actually just gets worse as you go on. I've had a proper sit down with a friend of mine of things, behaviors I genuinely want to change because I don't want to be spiteful and wrathful. My parents are old, they have like 20 years left, and they read most of what I say on here. I don't want them leaving this planet remembering that they left behind someone consumed with anger, rather than someone who just chooses to simply live and develop. First of all, your parents read all this? Damn. Well, I'm not gonna bash on them too much. This is about you. I'm not gonna let you just bring your parents into this in order to garner sympathy from people. Like, bro, everyone's parents get old. Everyone experiences this. You aren't special in this regard. People of the audience, be honest right now. At what point will you actually do this in any of your apologies? Oh bro, my parents are low-key getting older, so like please have mercy on me, man. I don't want them to think I'm a loser. Then maybe don't be a loser then? Like, it's not that hard to ask for a normal person. I forgot to mention the previous reading of his apology. He mentions his autism or whatever. Just more excuses. I don't give a fuck if you're autistic or not. In fact, it's just more reason to critique you if anything. If you're claiming that your mental condition is what makes you act in illogical ways, that just means we should scrutinize you more because you'll be more prone to such mistakes. I've never understood the autism excuse. Again, this is exactly like the ACC. People like niggas and just niggas like Birdie, man. The gang used to make excuses about some evil autism, some bullshit like that. Well, let's just continue on with this segment again. He goes on to talk about how he's talking with a friend, and that's just bullshit language, just cover-up language to say, please don't attack me, I'm getting the help I need. Common bullshit excuse. I've seen it too many times. Saying he appreciates the callouts, then saying he doesn't accept all of what they're saying is just a sneaky way of saying he disagrees with the content of the critique. There's this other YouTuber known as Utterly Noah who is in trouble for abusing copyright as well as plagiarism. If you watch his first and second apologies, it's full of platitudes like this, just empty platitudes. Utterly Noah has literally lied to everyone in his situation, from the artist that he told to do the copyright to the people exposing him, who was trying to give him the chance to come out and be honest about it, to the people that's on his side, literally just everyone. He just lied about the whole thing. This is also the reason why I'm going hard on Meat, because people like Meat will not own up and admit to the truth for free. Meat is doing this in the hopes that he can occupy the exact same space he always has going forward. He is simply going along the path with the least resistance in order to appease as many people as possible. I urge everyone to not fall for this. Ignoring all of that fake self-accountability nonsense at the end, that will just do it for this apology. And now, I hear you guys asking, well then, if that was it, how could you be so sure it was fake? I mean, it looks pretty genuine. Well, if you think at this point that Meat is actually sorry, you must be too forgiving. Either that, or you just don't know the lengths people like this will go to in order to obfuscate the truth. Here is an older message talking about how Meat will do better. Notice a lot of the similar wordings in this apology to the one he made recently. Also, when was this apology made again? If you remember from the last video, this apology was made around the same time my original video on Meat came out. Which means after this apology, or promise to do better, Meat has copy-striked my video, lied about me in community posts, lied about I want Unazi to make him look bad, still sucked from that point upwards up until now. So, after everything that's happened across the entire situation, are you seriously about to believe Meat now? I mean, you guys can make that mistake if you want to. I already learnt my lesson about giving people like this additional chances. Keep in mind, the entirety of this apology, he didn't even say that he was sorry. He didn't apologize to me, although he did under my post, but not in a post where his community can actually hold him to any real accountability. He didn't apologize to I Want Unazi. He didn't apologize to his community for being an arsehole. The words I'm sorry would have sufficed, but notice how it's completely missing. And as if to prove my point, I Want Unazi initially bought it. We've talked in DMs since then, and his sentiment has now changed. He doesn't believe that this is genuine, although he wants to believe in the fact that Meat can change. I'm not like him. I don't really think Meat can change. I don't really care what Meat does with his life after this fact. I just want this parasite gone from the community as a whole. People like him have been ruining spaces for the longest of times, making discourse borderline impossible as they want to police the topics that are being said. For all the negative remarks about Israel, Meat sure as hell is acting like them. Meat, you've deleted the call-out post. You've been deleting many other comments underneath your posts that paint you in a negative light. Yeah, you can choose who you want to associate with, but what you're doing is bottom of the barrel behavior. For all the trans people out there, surely there's a better person to get behind than this. Don't fall for the supporting my trans creator thing, as Meat will just make all of you look worse overall, with bullshit like the misgendering debt and more. People may try to get onto me for kicking a man whilst he's down, but honestly, do try to remember if the situation was reversed. How much of a shit do you think Meat will give? In fact, you don't even need to imagine it. The copy strike proves that if Meat could, Meat would have absolutely and completely silenced everyone on the matter. This is not accountability at all, Meat. You're literally hiding things that people can confirm has already happened. This apology doesn't mean anything. I bet you're gonna remain the same way. You think removing the copy strike just means everything is all done? Well, that's all I have to say. I'm done talking about this Israeli-funded startup known as Meat. I didn't even want to have to make a third video, yet here we are.
Oh Allah the Almighty, Allahu Allah, protect me and guide me, Allahu Allah, oh, to your love and mercy, Allahu Allah, Ya Allah, don't deprive me, Allahu